Hello and welcome to our For Today's Aging Community broadcast. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 go-to feasting food items and share with you how we use them and give you some tips to keep your food fun and helping you reach your goals. So Michael and I will be sharing what we do with those 5 food.
Oh, you were introducing me.
Yes, I was introducing you.
Okay.
Those 5 food items. Please leave a comment in the comment section when you jump on so that we know you're here. If you have any questions or comments you would like to add to today's discussion, we always appreciate that. We'll talk about our food items in the beginning and then we will open up the floor for discussion toward the end. Please take a second as well if you are new to hit that subscribe button on YouTube and that like button on Facebook so that you will be notified when we go live. So, feasting seems to be the most difficult part of creating this lifestyle for most women. And it really does come down to you putting yourself as a higher priority than food. And realizing that food is something that we should use to nourish our bodies and that we really need to focus on the mindset that we have and the emotional relationship that we have developed over time with food and why we are allowing food to still be our biggest struggle. We know in this lifestyle that if you fast long and you feast well, that you can actually have a body that looks and feels the way you want it to, regardless of your age or what circumstances you're coming into this lifestyle with. It's all about a decision-making process. So my 5 go-to food items are this. Get a pen, get a paper, or write a note in your phone.
Write this down.
Because these are the things that we literally survive on in our house. 1, cucumber. 2, avocado. 3, pumpkin seeds. 4, those little mini sweet peppers. And 5, avocado oil. No lie, if I have those 5 things in my home, I could feast for years. Those are the 5 things that we have as staples in our house. And let me explain to you why. If I have a cucumber and an avocado and some pumpkin seeds and a sweet pepper and some avocado oil, I know that I am getting my higher fats, my moderate to low protein, and my conscious carbohydrates. And I can doll that up or I can minimize it with any choices that I make depending on what I have available to me. And I live by this rule of feasting 90% of the time.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If you can do that and really tap into how your body responds to the food items that you choose as your 5, you will eliminate all the frustration and confusion about feasting. Now, this does not mean that these are the only 5 things that I eat. These are my 5 go-tos. Excuse you. 5 go-tos. So I can have a cucumber, avocado, and tomato salad. I can have a cucumber, avocado, pumpkin seed, sweet pepper, carrot salad, and sometimes even throw a salmon fillet on top of that. I can add some rice vinegar to it. I can put sunflower seeds instead of pumpkin seeds. I can put some 21 seasoning salute on that, or maybe just a little bit of Himalayan salt. I can do whatever I want to do to those 5 go-tos, but those 5 go-tos feed me. And guess what? They feed him. And they feed our 12-year-old and they feed our 18-year-old because they're just staples of really solid food items that you can have in your house.
I think there's a bonus item that should be added to that.
What's that?
That's green olives.
Green olives. Yes, and green olives are the bonus. That is the bonus. Like, that's a treat for us. Like, we'll open up a can of olives and we will put it in a little dish and we snack on that while we're making our dinner or our feast for the night. Remember this. Food is not entertainment. So I know some of you out there are thinking, oh, but that's boring. You always eat the same foods. Yes, I always eat the same foods because there are going to be chances and opportunities for us to go out to dinner. There's going to be chances and opportunities for us to go to a dinner party. There's going to be chances and opportunities for us to mix things up. But if this is what I do, and I take all the confusion out and I take all the decision-making process out and I just focus on these things, I will always look and feel my best and live my most authentic life. And this is why.
And you have to point out, like, those are not the items that you have to eat.
No.
I mean, like, you could have your own set of items.
Just pick 5 things.
And, you know, and the most important thing is when you're going to go to something to eat, like what do we tend to do? We tend to, when we're hungry, it's game on, and if it's game on and you have to go grab something to eat, it's probably going to be the wrong thing if you haven't prepared. I know you remember back in the day when we used to do the meal preps and you eat every 2 hours, that thing that was wrong that we used to do. Well, this is kind of the same thing. It's not a meal prep. It's like
meal forethought.
You're prepared. You have a forethought of like, okay, what am I going to go to? If I have to grab something, it's going to be dense, nutritious foods that I'm going to eat, and it doesn't like I said before, it doesn't have to be that list. I mean, that's a pretty good list, but you might have because there's things that we don't like, we don't eat. And they're really good for you, but there's things that we just don't care for, and there might be things on the list you don't care for. But nowadays, like what we always say, you can Google it, right? I mean, like you can Google dense nutrition and eat all day long. I mean, it's kind of a level of maturity for us now.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm 55 years old, Diane's 53, and a lot of people in this community are anywhere from 40 to
70 or 80.
to 70 or 80 years old. I think by now we know what to eat, or we should know what to eat. We should know what makes us feel good, what makes us feel lousy, right? We know. So, I think a lot of times we're kind of in denial when we think, well, I'll eat this, and no, you already know, and if you're going to down a bottle of wine right before bed, you already know how you're going to feel. So there's no magic, there's no secrets to what's good to eat and what's not good to eat. But you do have to be prepared, because if you don't, you'll go to something that's probably going to make you feel bad.
Exactly. And in no time in history has there been anyone who has weight frustrations or health frustrations or energy frustrations who have gone or defaulted to really sensible nutritional choices, right? So if you have your 5 things as your base and you add to them, you're still doing better than most, because you have 5 things that you can consider your base that are going to get you that nutrition. And I'll tell you what, when I have a bowl of avocado, cucumber, sweet peppers, pumpkin seeds, avocado oil, little rice vinegar, I am satisfied. I'm satisfied nutritionally, I'm satisfied emotionally, I'm satisfied mentally, and my hunger is satisfied because I just tapped into all 3 of the things that we need to have in our feast. The higher fats that are naturally occurring, the moderate to low protein. Yes, I don't need animal protein to get the protein in that bowl. And I have conscious carbohydrates. So having your 5, 4, 3, whatever you want, go-to things puts you in a conscious state of feasting. And like Michael said, when it comes to feasting time, if you don't have your go-tos, then you're going to mindlessly stand in the closet, the pantry, the refrigerator, and you're going to put food in your mouth without thinking about it. And then you're going to go, oh, what do I eat? Girlfriend, you just sat in the refrigerator and ate for like 20 minutes trying to think about what you want to eat. And we've all been there. We've all been there unconsciously. So put a little forethought into the things that you really enjoy eating and have those always be readily available for you, and you'll never, ever go hungry.
Okay, and let me tell you something. That list that she just told you, probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, that one wouldn't have been a go-to list for me. I've never been like a huge vegetable guy to begin with, but I think the game changer for me has been the trend of, we know now that higher fat foods are good for us. When before, I know back in the day, I would just like try to avoid high fat foods. Now you can take cucumber and avocado and we like sunflower seeds too, and pumpkin seeds and that sort of thing, and sweet peppers, and you put that avocado is going to make it really creamy and smooth. I mean, you don't even really need dressing.
No, avocado and avocado
and then
oil is dressing.
You put that oil on there too. Mm-hmm. Man, I mean the flavors. I mean it's amazing that the flavor that you can get from that combination. Where I guarantee you 2 or 3 years ago, that wouldn't have been my thing that I would want to eat. So you have to remember that nowadays there's even like vegetables. I mean like God bless my mom. She did everything she could like as far as cooking, but. And I'm not putting down her cooking, but she would make green, nutritionally dense, like broccoli or whatever, but by the time it gets to your plate, it's not nutritionally dense anymore because it's kind of like just green and overcooked. So I think that's been a game changer for me too. Like I know like cauliflower I can eat, broccoli I can eat, and those are things that I didn't really care for before. But you know, it's kind of in the preparation, how you prepare it. You're going to get a different flavor based on how you prepare it. We've even done like some vegetables that we'll put in the oven and we'll put oil on them. We'll put peppers and onions and what else we put in there?
Yeah, so those things like the sweet peppers and, well, not so much cucumber, but sweet peppers and avocado oil and broccoli and cauliflower in the oven, roasted on a cold winter day, is comfort food.
And it tastes sweet.
Amazing, right? Yeah. So you can have these things cold, you can have them warm, you can have them broiled, you can have them boiled, you can have them raw. Like, just have your go-tos and then build around them. So when we get really spicy with our feasting, we'll have these things in a bowl as a salad, and we call that a salad. We don't need a base of iceberg lettuce to have a salad. That to us is a salad. And then we can put on the side like some sweet potatoes. Like, that's fancy at our house. Or we can have these things in a bowl with a bunch of avocado oil and some olives and just a high-fat bowl of nutrition, and on the side have some baked kale with some manchego cheese on the top. Like, that's fancy in our house because it's two things on one plate, and it's amazing. Last night we steamed cauliflower and broccoli and put manchego cheese on the top. That was our dinner. So go back to the basics. Find your core set of vegetables that you enjoy. Not that I enjoy, not that he's enjoying, but that you enjoy. And then figure out different ways that you can mix and match them, broil them, boil them, whatever it is that you do, and then just rotate them around other things. And what you'll find is that you'll become really satisfied. Your feasting will be super simple. You'll save yourself a ton of money, and you'll start looking and feeling your best. And when you start worrying about the boredom, let me identify some things that are boring in life, and let me have you think about what's boring versus rinsing and repeating your feast that when you find what's good for you. And Michael and I have talked about this. Boring to us is sitting on the sidelines and watching your kids play in a swimming pool this summer because you're too embarrassed to walk from your chair to the pool without a shirt on or in your bathing suit. That's boring. Boring is not signing up to be a chaperone on your kid's field trip because you don't have the energy to participate with their class.
Or your grandkids.
Or your grandkids. Boring is not being able to take your grandkids to the park and run around with them. That's boring. Boring is sitting inside of a doctor's office and waiting for them to refill your prescription. Those things are boring. Repeating a really nutritious meal should never be considered boring. You should feel fortunate that you have access to good vegetables. And when you settle down on just main groupings of food that you have your go-to, you'll save a ton of money. And when you save a ton of money because you're not having to find all these fillers or quick fixes or satisfying type of foods, you can up your game. So you can buy organic. You can buy in abundance when you're buying your vegetables. You can buy things like pumpkin seeds and spices and oils and vinegars and things that you can use as condiments on them to spice them up and add a little bit of life to them or variety to them, and you'll be able to afford it because you've stopped wasting money on the things that no longer matter because you're not using food as your source of entertainment.
Right, exactly.
So broil something, boil something, fry something. We fry broccoli and cauliflower in our air fryer with tons of oil on it. And it is the easiest summer dinner, and it is super satisfying, and everyone will love it. And it's a couple bucks a head for cauliflower, and if that for broccoli, and then you can spend your money fulfilling your time with all the things that really are entertaining, like going places with your family because you have the energy and you have the stamina and you have the mental and emotional desire to be out and about with the people that you love because you're no longer being consumed or occupied by thoughts of how bad you feel or how self-conscious you are about the way you look.
Yeah, and when you feast that way for dinner, one of the first things you're going to notice is how you sleep. You're going to sleep better. And that's going to be the thing that's going to really help amp up your energy. Because that's a big deal to be able to get ample amount of sleep. And a lot of us, we don't get the right amount of sleep. You know, we'll gorge ourselves at night.
Yes.
And, you know, you'll have that, you know, 2 or 3 glasses of wine, and then, you know, oh, well, let's throw in some dessert on top of that too. So all that sugar, and you gorge yourself, and you had a big steak or whatever. Now you go to sleep, you just don't feel good. So you toss and turn all night. So guess what? The next day, you're just going to feel like crap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if you eat that, you know, foods like the list that we're talking about here, the five different foods, you're going to notice a difference when you go to bed, and when you go to sleep. You're going to notice a difference in your energy when you wake up, because you're going to notice that while you're sleeping, that you're going to sleep deeper, and you're going to sleep a lot better,
and you'll be nutrient satisfied.
Right.
So then you'll have your energy as well. So really quickly, my 5 go-to feasting items, which have now become my family's as well, is cucumber. And I get a variety of cucumber. I don't know if you noticed, but there's more than one type of cucumber out there. So the way to keep things interesting as well is just change up the kind of cucumber that you buy. Avocado, pumpkin seeds, sweet peppers, and avocado. If I have those 5 things on hand, we can feast plentifully, and we will be satisfied with what we're doing. So my challenge to you this weekend is find 5 things that you're going to keep on your list as your go-to feasting items, and then experiment and play around with them and find different ways to incorporate them in your feasting window, and then minimize some things and expand some things and add a different color or a different texture in, and see how many ways that you can use those 5 things in your feast to just make feasting so much simpler for you.
And something that we do, I think Diane mentioned it earlier, is we use the manchego cheese, which is sheep cheese, right?
Yes, sheep milk.
Sheep cheese, and it's definitely easier to digest than some of the other cheeses.
If you have dairy issues,
yeah. As a family, we don't do very well with dairy, but the manchego cheese, man, we kill it. I mean, like, we chop it up, we put it in our salad, we'll slice it for a snack, and you can get that at Costco, by the way. Some
really
places, yeah, we've seen it at some places where it's really expensive. Costco seems to have the best deal on manchego cheese.
Yeah, so just add in and take out things, and that will really kind of spice things up as well. So I'm gonna go onto YouTube real quick and welcome everyone real quick, and see if there's any questions. Karen, comments on carb cycling, do like or not? I don't do anything that creates extra work. So most of our carbohydrates come from vegetables, and we just eat. So if you have to count it, phase it, cycle it, chart it, we don't. It's too much work for us. We just open up our feasting window and enjoy foods that really fall into our lifestyle really easily. And so that just works for us.
It works. No,
we don't carb cycle. Deanna from Colorado, have done all your classes. Awesome, girlfriend. Good to see you. Linda from April class. A little Jordan Farm is here. Janet, alumni tuning in, second live this week. Thank you for your consistent guidance and encouragement. You're welcome, girlfriend. And you guys, really, food should be the most simplest thing in your life. It should not be the thing that's causing you stress. It should not be the thing that's causing you financial burdens. It should not be something that's taking up your time. It should not be that. Find your things and rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Save the fun, save the variety for when you go out. Unless you're like a chef or something and food doesn't stress you out and you know exactly what your go-tos are, then that's your wheelhouse, and I say enjoy that to the max. But if you're the person who's struggling, or you just don't know how to feed yourself and you're a grown-up person, go to the basics and just keep repeating them for sure, and then take out all the chore stuff for sure. Sarah, thanks for jumping on. Janet's here, Denise is here, Jane's here. I cooked for my grown daughter and husband last night. I blew it bad. Back on track. Thanks for your lives. Helps me stay focused. Little Jordan Farm. I hope you didn't cook them bad food. What do you mean you did bad? Here's the thing with food too. Food in its raw form, so broccoli, tastes amazing when it's cooked properly. So we have to go back to the basics. I grew up with broccoli covered in Velveeta cheese. I didn't even know what broccoli tasted like. I knew what Velveeta cheese tasted like, and that's how our parents got us to eat broccoli. Like today, that seems crazy. They didn't know any better. But our kids eat broccoli as broccoli. Like, we just cook it well so that they enjoy the way it tastes. So go back to the basics as well and reintroduce foods into your life that maybe at one point you didn't enjoy. Your palate will change as well, the healthier that you get, and the more your body craves nutrients. things will start to taste better for you, and you'll actually start to crave them, which is amazing in itself right there. Linda, I have my favorite 5, and I even find I crave them. Yeah, us too. I'm the same way. I could eat cucumbers and avocado just by themselves. It's an amazing combination for sure. Linda, you were so right. I have my favorite 5. I already did that one. Debbie, thank you. Many aha moments for me this week. Awesome, Debbie. Keep those aha moments coming for sure. Terry, broccoli kale salad with avocado mayo or blue cheese stuffed green olives. Yum. Yeah, that's awesome. I personally love jalapeno stuffed green olives. They're my absolute favorite. I use those to kind of extend in a fast, and I absolutely love them. Seagrass, in the May class, you two are fabulous together, trying to increase fat amount. Never heard myself say that before. Yeah. So here's the key though. You have to increase fat and decrease unnecessary carbs simultaneously, because remember, they are both energy sources. So your body will want to use the carbs before the fat. So increase the fat, decrease the carbs simultaneously, and don't fear vegetables as your carb, for sure. And then Debbie just made pumpkin broccoli curry and coconut cream soup, added garlic and basil. Awesome meal. Slept all night till 6 a.m. this morning. Yeah, that sounds fantastic for sure. And then Barb from Alberta's here. Laura, health is wealth in every way. Exactly. Is goat cheese okay to eat? I always say that there's no bad food. There's just food that's bad for you. So if you can handle goat cheese is not a bad food for you. Personally, goat cheese does not sit well with me. The only cheese I can really do is manchego cheese. So I just had to learn that through process of elimination. So if it's working for you, I say keep it in for sure. And then Little Jordan Farm, I love cucumbers, but they have bothered my stomach in past years. Do you find things that bother you? Yeah, that's where you have to do the trial and error kind of thing, and really be okay with experimenting with things, and then try different types of cucumber. So maybe buy a certain type, and if that didn't work with your stomach, try a different type and then see if that works. And cucumbers are not the be all end all. They just happen to be what we enjoy having in our mix. So if it doesn't work for you, just
What's
find
the one we get? The one we get is pretty good.
It's the English cucumber. So they're usually wrapped in like a saran wrap type of thing. They're longer. They have just a more dense flavor. They're not as watered down, and they're super, super crunchy.
Really good.
So that's what we like to have them in ours. And then there's I think it's called the American cucumber. I don't know, it's the one that's a little bit lighter on the inside. And then there's I think they're called Persian cucumbers, which are the shorter ones, and those are really dense too, and those are really good to add in. And then let's see, needed live reality check. Oh, good, glad you could jump on. And then Robin, just jumping on, catching you live. I love your kale, sweet potatoes, and avocados. I drizzle homemade ranch dressing. Yep, there you go. And then what about raw cabbage? I say again, if raw cabbage works for you, definitely put it in. There's some really great health benefits for adding cabbage into your diet. So if it works, add it in for sure. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Wrote it in my journal. Awesome. And then Little Tweetin, what are your thoughts about breaking a fast with a smoothie with protein powder added? I break my fast every day with what I call my break fast shake. And it has, it's vegan, so it has all vegetable proteins in it. And I just don't add any extra sugars to it at all, and I fatten it up. So again, if you have something that's working for you and you like it and it's not making you feel any kind of bad way, then that's working for you. That you should not question that at all. We like to break our fast with the shake because it is really simple on our digestive system, and it does hold us over until we have our big feast, which would be the 5 things we talked about and what we're going to do in the evening. So yeah, I say if you have something, definitely keep it in for sure. And then Teresa's here from Flower Mound. Courtney, Teresa, tell your dad I said hi. Always love to have avocado in hand. Yeah, for sure. I always say the best way to eat an avocado is with a knife and a fork. Cut that bad boy down the middle, take the pit out, put a little seasoning on it, and just go to town. You should not be sectioning avocados, saving avocados, having avocados. Just get an avocado, and that could be a meal in itself for sure.
Everything but the bagel seasoning.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's really amazing. Kim, can you tell me about working out and fasting? You had mentioned something earlier in the program. Yeah. We work out fasted. I work out anywhere from 14 to 20 something hours in a fasted state. As of late, probably the last 6 months or so, we've been adding a little pre-workout to our fasted workout, and it's been enhancing what we've been doing, so not hurting us in any way. So again, it's that thing you have to just get accustomed to the new feeling of your body tapping into fat as an energy source versus sugar as an energy source. So it does take a little bit of psychological adjustment more than physical adjustment, and then once you're there, then you're fine. So working out in a fasted state is very beneficial. Highly recommended for sure. Wanda, hello. Debbie, great information. Awesome. Glad you could jump on with us. And then Wanda, field heads in season. I don't even know what that is. Never heard of that before. And then Teresa, I'll tell Dad hi. Thanks. He just turned 91. Yeah, your dad's awesome. And we love that he tunes in with us as well. Okay, so let me just share this final little thing with you. You can't go wrong with one ingredient food items. You will never go wrong with one ingredient food items. What we like to do is take one ingredient food items, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, sweet peppers, all those things, and put them together and call that a feast. We put them in bowls, we put them on plates, we season them with different things. Sometimes we use rice vinegar, sometimes we use red wine vinegar. Like, just change up the flavor sensation, but always have your core go-tos, and you will never, ever go wrong with what it is you're feasting on. If you have to stop and question something, there's a reason that you questioned it, and it's probably one of those things that you should just put along the sidelines and go back to what we know is good, and that is one ingredient whole foods. Start that as your base, find your 5 go-tos, and then rinse and repeat. Remember, food is not entertainment. People can be entertaining, events are entertaining. Find your things in life that you want to participate in outside of food items, and you will live happy and healthy, and you'll have amazing people that you can surround yourself with that will love spending time with you.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, cool. So we're going to head out. It's Friday. We have, our kids are busy, so we have a few hours. We're probably going to go do a little afternoon date session, which is going to be super cool. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, or you would like information about our course, remember it is starting on June the 8th. I teach you a lot about how to manage this lifestyle and how to be mentally and emotionally okay with choosing your own nutritional path and how to make these sensible choices for yourself. So if you're struggling, I would love to have you in our June course for sure. It's a great program. For my May students, we are entering into the emotional and social aspect of this lifestyle. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to get through this 3rd week of your course. It is life-changing when you really can create the boundaries that you need to make for yourself so that you can live this life style for the rest of your life and live happy and healthy for sure. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'll see you guys around social media, and then make sure you're on our email list as well. We have an email going out to everyone tonight. That's where we share a little bit more in detail about some things that we're feasting on. So we have some stuff that's going out tonight about some of the fun things that we feast on when we're opening up our feasting window. And then don't forget, we always talk about some specials that we have going on with our course inside our email.
Be on the email list.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're on our email list for sure. And then for my Peloton friends and Michael's Peloton friends, we'll be on the Peloton tomorrow, so look for us on the leaderboard for sure. We'd love to give you some high fives during your workout tomorrow. Have a good weekend, you guys.
Have a good weekend.